What's up, everybody? You're listening to another episode of the SignatureCAST, where we talk bodybuilding, business, and everything in between. To my right, a good friend of mine, former New Jersey gym owner, old school New Jersey bodybuilder, Kevin Santos, member of Signature Fitness. Thank you so much for coming on today. How you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling great.
So we're here. We're going to talk all things old school. That's one of my favorite topics. I know we have geeked out in the gym probably a million times, whether it's about training, gym, machines that were coming out back in the day and all that stuff. So thank you, first of all, for coming on today. I think this is going to be a great discussion for all of our viewers at home. Let's start off with old school versus new school. What was it like back in the day walking through the doors of a gym?
Smelly.
Smelly. I'm sure.
No air conditioning.
Yeah.
Everybody just blasting away.
Yeah.
Close knit.
Yeah.
Just one big family.
Was there the people that trained back then? You had the strength athletes, the bodybuilders, the fitness goers. They were all together as one community, right?
One community, yes. Yeah. We had the power lifters would come in at night, bending in the bars, destroying the equipment. And then you had the bodybuilders during the day mixing in.
Yeah. I love it.
It was a great time.
It's sad to see nowadays. Everything's kind of become their own little, cliques, and there's a little niche of this and that,
Well, back in the day, there was only a few of us.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, there's, look at the size of this gym.
Yeah.
How many people?
Yeah.
It wasn't like that. These small gyms were only like 2,000 square feet.
How big was your gym? Ultimate Gym, right?
It was 10,000 square feet.
Which is still a big gym.
It was one of the biggest ones around at the time.
Yeah. I had the pleasure of, years ago, I've told you this, I came to your gym once. An old friend of mine brought me there, and I just remember it being black and red everything, old school equipment everywhere, and it was just a real hardcore experience.
Well, that's what I grew up on.
Yeah.
So that's all I knew. Mm-hmm. Like we were talking before, we had no cardio. We had no treadmills back in late 70s, early 80s. You were lucky you had a bike. I don't know if you remember, but the wheel on the bike was steel, and it had a strap, and you would turn the tension.
Yep.
That's all we had. And
those are, not to cut you off, those are still the best ones. If you know, for any of you guys at Signature Fitness, we have those 3 spinner bikes on the end. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're the best ones. They're old they're school, built like a tank.
Old school, best school.
And I would never buy a new one over them.
Yeah. Like I said, we would go run Garrett Mountain, the hills, and we would go to the stadiums and run the stadiums like Rocky stuff.
Sure, yeah.
Now everybody is on treadmills and steppers, and nobody goes back to the hills or
nobody wants to do what's hard anymore.
You know what it is? That's pain.
Yeah. I remember back in the day when I was throwing shot put in track, we didn't get to do anything except run up and down the hill next to the track. Like up and down. I want 30 up and downs. I'm like, oh my God, it was the worst. It was the best, but the worst.
I don't want to make fun of anybody, but nobody does legs the way we used to do legs.
No.
You wouldn't even be able to walk out of the gym.
Yeah.
So,
very few.
Yeah.
The only one I know of is Sean. He's the only one. I mean, he's Mr. Olympia, so I mean.
No, he's got to do it.
Clearly. But
there's a few that do legs pretty heavy in here.
Yeah.
Mostly, I always tell everybody, everybody's got chest, shoulders, arms, abs, right? Mm-hmm. But I want to see your back. I want to see your legs. Do you have hamstrings, bro?
Are they sagging down?
Are they hanging?
Nope.
I'm like, well, why not? Why don't you want to do legs? Legs with cross striations.
Oh yeah.
If you don't have legs, I don't know what to say.
Well,
I'm kind of like speechless.
And this, shows are one from the back and the legs.
I tell all the young kids in here, I said, I don't care what your front looks like. You're a dime a dozen.
Everyone's got a frontable bicep.
You're a dime a dozen. You will win when you turn around.
Yeah.
I want to see your calves. I want to see your hamstrings. I want to see your back. If you ain't got that, don't even bother.
Yeah. And it's funny because obviously we know conditioning now, I think you would agree, it did it was like 70s and 80s had their conditioning. The 90s kind of pushed it.
A whole different level.
And now from then on, it's just, if you're not slice and dice like a cheese grater in the glutes, there's no chance for you.
The only person I remember having glutes, striated glutes was Rich Gaspar.
Just about to say that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He was the only one I've ever seen that with, and that was early 80s. He was competing against Haney, right?
Yeah.
Haney,
He never won, unfortunately, but was always trying to.
Couldn't beat Haney.
I mean, come on.
I mean, that's like, no, Cutler couldn't beat
Ronnie until he finally had his little down,
I mean, everybody.
You can only hold that physique for so long.
Yeah, and it wears your body down.
Yeah, for sure. Well, so you had competed, and that's how we kind of first met each other. We were talking about, your old school competitions back in the day. What was the bodybuilding scene like in New Jersey? Was it, because nowadays, I hate to sound, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think, but, gym tan laundry, blah, blah, blah. It's all about this and that, whatever. But back then it was.
You're going to like this.
Yeah?
Yeah. So we had Giordano's.
Yes.
Which eventually became this gym. Gold.
Sure.
It was Gold's. And then, so it was Giordano's, Diamond Gym, Gateway up in Montclair, Bavarian Haven was like up north somewhere. So when you went to a show, it was mostly our gyms competing against those.
So those 3-4 gyms always just had their crew.
There was probably a few more, but
okay.
They were the main big body built, like good people, like Diamond, Carla Dunlap, right? She was Miss Olympia a couple times. I don't know if you remember her.
No.
Yeah, look her up.
I will.
John Morant, you've heard of him?
Yes.
Diamond it was a real small little hole.
It's still there. God bless. I went maybe a year or two ago. We had a little animal event there, and it was cool. It was once again, it was like walking back into 1980s. It's
the Gold's Gym
of the East Coast. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I used to train there all the time with really good bodybuilders.
Yeah.
And like I said, we were close knit, so everybody would. Hey, Mike, like a friend of mine, Mike, I use his last name, Calabrese. Very good bodybuilder. He won the juniors.
Okay.
And I'd be like, I'm coming down to train with you. He's like, yeah, man, come on down, let's train.
I love that. That's so great.
So yeah, it was. When you trained with those people, you trained and you got better. You got real better.
Yeah,
so,
and
then you would meet them on stage.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, oh shit, Mike's showing up today, and Kevin's showing up. Kevin, you became. People knew your name.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh shit, he's showing up for this. This sucks.
I felt that very slight. Like when I was doing, when I was strictly powerlifting, I would always compete in Newark in this federation called RPS, and you'd see the same faces. And I remember one of my last ones I did. I walked in and they were just like, "Damn it! Why did he have to come in today?"
Yeah, I was hoping he didn't show.
It's like the best feeling though. They're like, "Yeah, that is me. I am here to ruin some people's days.
I am here to take the first place trophy. Sorry, there's only one place, and that's first.
But I'm
not here for second or third.
I love that so much that you said it was just like the gyms were the hub, and then it'd be like team Diamond, team Signature, team this, team that, team Giordano's.
Right.
We're actually trying to do that. As you know, we have a lot of up and coming bodybuilders here.
There's so many good people in here,
and it's one of the few places left, at least that I know of, in the area, other than Diamond. When you want to be a bodybuilder, even though we offer something for everyone, Signature's now like, we're the bodybuilding gym. It's here and it's Bev Francis.
Oh, she's another story. But this gym, if you want to get better, the equipment is second to none.
Yeah.
Some of the people that come here are really good.
Yeah.
And when people are good around you, you
get better.
You get better.
Yeah. And our goal is, I'm in contact with some of them. And so for this next up and coming bodybuilding season, we're trying to put together and unveil like a Signature Fitness team so that when they go, they represent the gym and everything.
You want to laugh?
Yeah.
Back in the day, we had a team, Giordano's.
Oh, yeah?
And we went to compete. I think it was upstate New York. I'm getting old, so I'm losing my memory. But
you're good.
I had the cancer and all, so I'm all screwed up.
He's doing great. Don't worry.
The chemo killed me. But anyway, we rented a Winnebago.
Oh, really?
And
That's awesome.
We had pairs. Remember we were talking about pairs? They should bring back. They should bring back pairs. I think they. I don't want to make people mad, but I think we should get rid of some of the bikini stuff and make room for the pairs. Because I think nowadays you see women training with men.
Oh, there's so many.
Right?
Well, like I just said, here there are so many couples that train together.
So that's what I mean. So,
and they both compete. Why not have the pairs competition?
And if you go back to old school video, I don't know if they have old school video of pairs.
They do. Oh, I've seen them.
Do?
Oh, yeah.
Because they didn't. I don't even. They had old school video. Like when I competed, you only got your picture taken by really good photographers.
Yeah.
So you had to wait months for your pictures to come out, unless you were lucky enough to be good enough to be in Iron Man or something like that. And like, holy shit, my picture's in Iron Man. You know, with my trophy. Like, wow, I'm a big shot. You know? So I think some of these people that come here would probably want to do that.
I think they would do really well.
I think it would be great. I think, you know, like I said, I don't want to make a lot of people mad, but bikini, you're there for hours.
Well, so it's very interesting that you're bringing this up.
It's like, okay.
It's been a big talk of the Olympia.
Can we break it up a little bit?
We were there. So obviously, you know, we were in Vegas. We were there the first night in our seats for 6 hours.
Watching that.
And then the next day we were there, I think, for 5 hours. And it was just so. And look, I don't want to take any respect away from the bikini girls. You know what?
Me neither.
It's awesome.
It's a lot.
But you're right. They need to break it up because it's just such a long show, and that's what the Arnold doesn't have certain categories, and they will reduce it. So you're only sitting like it's one show, it's one night. You're sitting there for like 4 hours.
Let's face it. Everybody's there for the monsters.
I mean, you
99%.
You're there it's like a circus, right?
And those monsters are waiting 6 hours. They got to dry out. They're not eating. They're just trying to hold that condition. You don't realize, well, you know how much work, how hard that is to be spot on for those few minutes.
I've never even done a bodybuilding show, but just having to make weight for my powerlifting competition, not having the food, not having the water, that 24 hours alone was hell. And these guys, some of them aren't drinking water for 3 days.
That's why they need to get, but they want to hold the best for last.
Oh no, of course, I totally get it. Don't get me wrong. But you know, I heard stories about it at the Olympia, you know, the backstage this year. First of all, just to get to the backstage, they had to go from one place, go outside and come back inside. Yeah, wow. Which, first of all, that's a big no-no. You're at like 0% body fat, for Christ's sake. You're freezing if you're going to go. It was so cold. Who thought of that?
Who ran that mess?
But not just that. They said that there was literally no room for anyone. So Antoine Vaillant, who's a IFBB pro, he just said, you know, I've learned, I just needed to make the best of it. He goes, I saw a garbage can and there was about a 5-foot strip on the floor. He goes, I just put my yoga mat down and lay down and I just said, let me just forget about everyone else. But I'm like, to think that the biggest show in bodybuilding and in the world for showing off a physique, that they can't have a proper backstage.
Well, that's the promoters' mess.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. That's way out of my league. But
because that's what I've heard from many of the athletes themselves, is that the Arnold takes care of the athletes better than anyone.
Who promotes that show?
Well, like the Arnold Classic? Well, so it's all through Arnold and all of his team.
Well, why don't they do that for the Olympia?
Well, so obviously they're both owned separately. So that's why.
Well, it's a money-making machine.
Yeah, and I will say...
the bikini's a money-making machine. That's
well, that's the thing is like, bikini, men's physique, classic. You know, they're really... Classic is becoming a massive, massive category. But, you know, Jake Wood, you know, shout out to him. He bought back the Olympia, I believe, 2 or 3 years ago. And he's done a great job of like really funneling lots of more funding into it and that type of stuff. So it's grown for sure. But it's kind of sad when you hear about like that they can't find a place to sit down backstage or just stuff like that. You know, you've been there, right? So how hard is it to do that?
There's a chair right there, bro. Get a couple.
No, I mean, how hard is it when you're no food, no water, nothing?
It's torture.
Yeah.
It's
your skin is like paper.
It's really cool, but it really hurts.
The photos make it worth it, right?
The photos, being on stage is the biggest high you could ever. And if you win, if you're lucky enough to place and win and get that trophy, and your friends and your family there, and it's it makes all the pain go away.
What was your most memorable moment in bodybuilding?
Well, I'm going to give you two.
Okay.
One time, well, in the summers I used to spend down the Jersey Shore, Bricktown, with my cousins. And my cousin would go to work, and I would train with the next door neighbor. His name was Bruce Craidman. And we would go to this little gym, and we would train, and then I would spend my summers there. So they were having a bodybuilding show. And he goes, Kev, I'm going to sign you up for this. I'm like, bro, I don't live here. He's like, yeah, but nobody knows. Nobody knows you're here all summer. They think you're a resident. So it was called Mr. Bricktown.
Okay.
So he put me in this. I didn't know how to pose.
Oh, is this your first show?
First show.
Oh my God, your first show.
I was lucky enough when I went to the gym, I grew. My genetics were pretty good.
Okay.
Like, you see me.
Yeah, yeah.
You didn't see me in my prime, but you see me now.
But no, I get it. Yeah. You hold on to the muscle. You can.
Yeah. So I was like, wow, this bodybuilding stuff's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Like, man, I'm growing. I'm eating chicken all day. I'm eating salad. The food didn't bother me because I knew it was going to make me grow. I knew I was getting better. And he goes, I'm gonna sign you up for this. I'm like, no, bro, I don't know how to pose. I don't know how to do anything. He goes, well, you wing it. So a week went by, and I went in it, and there was like a lot of local gym owners that were in it too. And I'm looking at them, I go, man, they're pretty big. They look pretty good, I'm like, I didn't know I looked that good. So I went in there, and I had no song. So I grabbed, he grabbed the song. Bon Jovi, She's a Little Runaway.
I love it. Oh my God, this is the best story ever.
So I'm like, okay, just play that. Play that. I'll figure
You'll figure something out.
I'll figure it out, right? So I start, I'm up there, and I'm just throwing out some shots, and the music's playing, but I don't even remember the music. Will, I don't even remember walking up there. I don't remember coming off the stage. And all I remember is calling my name that I won. And I got the first place trophy. But
in your first show,
I was like, Bruce, what did I do up there? Like, I was so nervous.
Yeah. It's a blur.
I don't remember even walking up there. It was
do you have any clue as to how much you weighed roughly?
I was a natural middleweight.
Okay.
I tried to be a light heavy, but I could just never put on like 200 and, what was it, 189?
Okay.
180 something is a light heavy. But light heavies are mean. They go up to 220.
So you and
I was a natural middleweight, 176.
Okay.
So cool. I was probably like
around 170 something.
172, 173
Okay.
up in the beginning.
Sure.
But I was lucky enough to have legs.
Okay.
I was born with legs. Even when I was going through cancer, I still had legs and I still had calves.
Sure.
Like, my calves never left me.
Yeah. Well, they're still ripped every time you walk around the gym.
Are they? Yeah. So, and I never.
Are they? Humble. I love it.
You can't see them. You can't see it, right? You can't see any of that. You can't see your back. I could tell you one thing. I wish I did my hamstrings better. I neglected my hamstrings.
Earlier when we were talking about legs and you said, did your hamstring drop? To me, there's nothing more boring, and excruciating when you do it correctly to train more than hamstrings. When you're doing, it's like every set when you're done, it's like you're getting a Charlie horse, for Christ's sake.
You know why I think people don't want to do hamstrings? Because they can't see it. Like, everyone wants to do biceps because you can see your
great
bicep.
point. When you're doing extensions, you can look down at
You can't.
No matter what you do, you can't see it.
If you're laying in bed and you flex your hamstring, you can feel the cut.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I can. I'm
sure.
You can feel the cut, the separation, but you can't see it.
That's a really good point.
If you can't see it, you kind of like block. I did anyway. I blocked it out. But when you're on stage and you turn around, you ain't got no hamstrings.
Or when you're hitting that side chest and your leg drops.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I definitely neglected my hamstrings. I probably neglected back a little bit because, and again, you can't see it.
Yeah. Well, everyone likes,
and nobody knows how to pose their back.
No.
Back is the hardest thing to get control and pull it out.
Yeah.
It's very hard, and you got to spend hours practicing. So when you're lifting in the gym, you could flex your chest because you can see it. You can see your bis, you can see your tris, but you can't see.
If you don't have one of those, like in our pose room where you have the angled mirror,
gotta have the angled mirror.
You won't be able to do anything.
Right.
It's what it is everyone likes the mirror muscles. I'm not gonna lie. My favorite day, especially for the past few years, is a shoulder day. I come in, I'm wearing a big baggy shirt, and then all of a sudden, like I won't look at myself in the mirror for the first like 25 minutes. And then I'll walk over.
If you get warm, pumped up.
I get a pump, and then I go, and I'm like,
I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
And then I'm like, I can see it through my shirt, and I'm like, all right, I feel good.
Oh, you know what else I wanted to say? Old school.
Yeah.
Bro, we had no headphones. We had no earbuds.
That's a great point.
We had the radio.
Cranking.
And people would fight over the radio station.
Oh, yeah?
I'm going to tell you a story.
Oh, that's right.
I'm not going to mention no names.
That's right. It's just radio. There's none of the Spotify and all that crap now. It was just put on the radio, and that's it.
103 Rock.
Yeah.
K-Rock, whatever.
Yeah.
Right? So I actually seen people fist fight. Testosterone's flowing.
Yeah.
I actually seen another guy break another guy's jaw over the radio station. They were nuts. They were nuts, bro. The Giordano's is on Washington Boulevard.
Uh-huh.
So, there might be 30 guys in there training. And the windows are all steamed.
Oh, my God.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And people be driving by looking in like, look at those maniacs. Like, look at those muscle heads.
It's freaking jungle, and now they're going to kill everybody.
Well, you were a retard. You were a musclehead. You were a dummy.
That's the way the society looked at you, right?
Yeah. You were a steroid using nut job.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But now
it's the mainstream. Everybody wants to do it.
Everybody's, yeah. But I wish some of these people, like you and some of these people, I wish we could go back in time so I could just show you what it was like. The machines were so shitty.
I remember, I told you this, I think, already. This has come up the past, like, 2-3 times the past couple days.
Real quick. I remember clotheslines, pulleys. Instead of a cable,
Oh, it was like a clothesline.
it was a freaking clothesline, bro.
Really?
And you could feel the stretch from the material.
What?
Yeah, I'm not.
That's crazy.
And the first gym I started in was a house gym. It was a house, but the first floor had the machines.
Okay.
And the basement was a dungeon. It would have just dumbbells and
barbells and stuff.
And that's it. But it was maybe a little bigger than this room.
Sure.
But
that reminds me of I used to go to a Skiba's gym in Carteret. It's just like that. Upstairs, there's someone living. First floor is a gym, and the basement is just dumbbells and barbells.
Oh, wait, one more. Giordano's gym. The plates used to fall through the floor and onto the ladies' wash machine and dryer in the basement. From people slamming the weights, it was a wooden floor.
Oh,
if you go by there right now, it's an automotive store. Do you know that?
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Gino's Pizzeria on Washington Avenue.
Okay.
Right across the street. That's where Gino Downs was. It's now an automotive store.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Upstairs is an apartment building.
Oh, really?
That's where we started.
Really?
Yeah, and then Alex
and everything,
and we moved up the street. It's on the dead end over here.
Mm-hmm.
Then they moved here.
That's right. There was 3 of them, right? At first it was Giordano's, then it was it was still Giordano's.
Physiques Unlimited.
Oh, it became. That's right.
When
I forgot
Alex
that's what it was
took
called.
It was Physiques Unlimited.
That's right.
And we all trained there. You know what? I got pictures. I got to bring them to your show.
Yeah.
All of us sitting outside. And
Just
then
even that. You remember how cool is you'd see those photos? It wasn't even, you probably like, hey guys, we're taking a photo today. And like, it was just like the 20, 30 guys, couple of girls sitting in front of a gym and just like.
Frozen in time.
It's so cool.
Everybody young, 20 years old, beast mode.
And you can never, and it's such a shame because, I tell my girlfriend all the time, there's so many photos that I have on my phone, and I want to, like, I got like at least 100 of them that I want to go get made into the Polaroid, because this is going to disappear one day. I'm going to lose the phone. I'm going to lose the files. But that photo album, I'll always have.
That's why I keep my resume.
You show me. It was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, that's the only, I threw all my trophies away. Mm-hmm. All my trophies, all my medals. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm an idiot. Because you can never replay. And some days I'm like, oh man, I wish I kept them.
Yeah.
I got them on, pictures. I got pictures of my trophies with trophies, but I don't know why I did that. I guess because maybe I conquered it.
And you were just like, I'm done with this.
I'm done with this.
I was just, I just moved from where my house where I grew up, and I had all my powerlifting trophies.
Yeah.
And my mom's like, well, why don't you just keep one of them? And I was like,
no,
I'm keeping them all.
Keep them all.
I don't want to throw them out.
Don't.
Because I know when I get older, I'm going to be like, come here, let me show you about this.
Yeah. Don't do what I did.
Yeah. No, I
messed up.
What I was going to say before is I've told this story like 5 times in the past couple of days. I remember I was telling you, so one thing that Kevin and I geek out about all the time is old school pieces of equipment.
Yeah.
And I remember how excited I was to get that Nautilus pullover in here.
I remember.
It was like, Kevin, listen, I got this piece. It's coming. It's going to be amazing.
Chain
driven Nautilus pullover from like mid 1970.
Yep.
So great. The same company that I bought that from, there was a gym somewhere.
Do you know how old that piece is?
It's from like around 1975, I think.
It's like 45 years old.
Yeah, and it's you could throw that off the roof and it won't break.
No. Yeah, they used to take that equipment and throw it in the ocean to make a reef.
Really?
Yeah, because nobody wanted it.
Are you serious?
Yeah. They're like, take that thing and throw it in the ocean.
Let me go dive down and find it.
Yeah, they go fishing off of it. They make it a reef. Yeah, I'm not kidding. Yeah, I swear to God.
So they so that same company it was somewhere.
It was so solid.
It was
wouldn't
somewhere.
even rust.
Oh, it's amazing. Somewhere Midwest or down south. I can't remember where it was. I think it might have been South Carolina or somewhere out west. But anyway, there was a gym, and I know it was an old school gym because the photos of the place, all the windows were boarded up, and there was graffiti all over but like gym graffiti, not like someone tagged it. Like it just
cool.
said like
that's cool stuff.
Yeah, it said like pump and all that stuff, right?
That's pretty cool.
And the whole place, there was like 12 pieces of all Gen 1 Nautilus in the shittiest brown paint.
That's right.
Yeah.
Shitty paint.
It was horrible.
It was shitty
And they
color.
wanted the whole thing for like $20,000. And I should have bought it just so I could, just because you know what my thought was is if I buy it, find a small place, even for photo shoots. Like if for old school photo shoots, you get these bodybuilders to come in, like you'll never see that stuff again.
Well, that's how I started.
Or all of it all together.
That's how I started. It was a gym up in Montclair or something.
Oh, you mean for your gym?
For my gym. It got flooded out. And it went out of business. But all the equipment was still sitting in there. And they didn't want much money for the equipment. So me and my partner at the time bought it, but we had nowhere to put it. So we put it in a storage container right up the street.
You told me, up the street, right?
Where that built that new giant building.
Yeah.
It was like containers over there. And we looked for a place for a long time. And I was reading the paper one day, and it says $5 a square foot. Because, gyms need a lot of room. And
yeah.
You can't pay $20, $30.
No.
You need host. You need warehouse space. So I called up this lady, Evergreen. I remember her name, Carol, and she goes, "Yeah, the hotel wants a gym in there, but they don't want nothing to do with it. So you go downstairs and look around and take as much room as you want."
Okay,
all right, this sounds good to me. So the owner was gonna put some stuff in for us, like the bathrooms.
Sure.
And we had to do the rest, which was fine. So that's how I started. But I parlayed my bodybuilding career because a lot of people knew me from being around gyms. Like
competing
they
and
knew
stuff.
competing. They knew I was pretty good. And I just built up a following, and that's what I did for 28 years.
And
it made it treated me really, really well.
What was it you think? Was it just the times changing, the retro fitnesses and all that stuff that killed you?
I'm going to say this really blunt. They hoard the business out. I mean, hoard. They made it so cheap that...
I mean, it's funny. We have people that come in to Signature and, they see that our rate is, over $50 a month, right? It's like $65 and $75 now, right? Which some people are like, oh my God, that's so much money.
Not
because
really.
Down the street, they want $10 a month for a Planet Fitness.
And you get a donut.
And you get pizza on the first of every month or whatever it is.
Donut, yeah.
And it's like, you guys just don't, and I tell them, I said, you know what? I respectfully, I understand where you're coming from. When you're here to bring your fitness and your health and nutrition to another level, we'll always be here for you. But you can always go back to Planet Fitness. And I would say about 80% of the people that I tell that to will come back. And they'll be like, wow, you were right.
When they learn what these machines, let's face it, some of these people that come in here, they don't know what these machines are.
No.
They don't even know. They don't know the difference between a chest press and a bicep machine.
Sure. They hop on the machine and they go.
They don't even know what it does.
Yeah.
They don't know how good it is. They don't know they just don't know, and you can't blame them.
Yeah, it's just they're just not educated in it.
Right. They're not. So when somebody comes here that is educated, he's been around bodybuilding, he knows the value.
Oh yeah, they see the because that's I just had our new rep from Techno Gym come in, and they have some cool stuff coming out, like really cool stuff.
They're one of the best.
And
Hammer.
he was walking around and he was just like, this place is pretty crazy. I'm like, where do you live? And he's like, oh, I'm in North Arlington. But why the hell aren't you a member here? What's wrong with you? He goes, oh, I was just going to an LA Fit. I'm like, no. I said, come back when you want to be serious. But the first thing he said was, he goes, I've never seen a place that has not just every piece of equipment you could think of, but from every brand. That is one thing I'll tell. Like I never got to know Alex, and I know everyone had like mixed opinions on the guy and whatever. But the one thing I'll give him is he didn't just have Eagle. He's got Eagle. He's got Hammer Strength. He's got Free Motion. He's got Techno Gym. He's got Nautilus. He's got every brand you could think of, and he's got the whole line.
You know why? Because he's like you and me.
Oh,
he wanted the best.
Oh, he was one of those?
He was a bodybuilder. He could appreciate that equipment.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't appreciate it.
It's
like
something.
That Techno Gym stuff is.
Oh, I know.
Sick.
It's something for people at home to understand what we're saying. It's like when you put on a pair of shoes and it just fits just right, and you walk and they feel it's the same. But now it's with working out.
I love doing legs.
Okay.
I go on a pit.
The Pit Shark?
Pit Shark?
Yeah.
Bro, I wish I had that when I was young. It would have made me 50% better.
It's a great machine. I know.
I don't even know what, bro. I wish I had that 40 years ago.
And that's I always go back to that one piece.
And that one piece that I always.
Which one?
That thing that you got in the back, that bicycle thing where you bend over, you push your legs back and forth. That you said it's broke. It's back there though.
Oh, the Power Runner.
Dude, I love that thing.
I'll try to get it fixed and get it back in here.
Dude, I don't even know if people even know what that is.
No, that's why we got rid of it.
You want to talk about striated glutes?
That's why we got rid of it. Nobody understood how to use it, and it was sitting there, never getting used. And we just said, you know what? Let's put something else here.
You want to talk about striated glutes?
Oh yeah, that'll just that's the best kickback you could ever do.
Oh, man, will that tie your hamstrings?
Yeah, that's a great piece. I will say it's a little tough to get in, but once you're in it.
Well, it hurts.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to mess with things that hurt.
No.
That's why they don't want to do
That's why
why they don't want to squat.
Oh, don't get me started with that. You're not going to get good legs unless you squat.
Your whole body.
Everything grows.
Your whole
in the best way, too.
Your whole squat. Well,
Yeah, I know.
What can I say?
That's why I geek out so much about the Nautilus pullover. It was one of those things where for me, like I've done it with Sean, right? And Sean and I are very different statures. He likes it a lot. He has to grab differently because of the length of his arms.
Yeah, sure.
He can't use the elbow pads. He just has to pull.
Because he's short.
Because he's short, right?
I can't either.
But for me, when I got on that, I've always wanted to do pullovers. I try the dumbbell. I don't feel it. I've tried the hammer strength pullover. No. I've tried the newer Nautilus one with like that we have here. No. And I got on that machine, and it was like, oh, and I felt like Dorian Yates back in Temple Gym, just like, let's get nasty.
That's because it fits
my frame and everything.
Your mechanics of your like me, I'm short, so I could feel it, but I got to hold on the sides sometimes.
Yeah, you got to find the right. You got to find the right spot.
I got to maneuver, because it's too long for me.
Yeah.
But
so, having been a gym owner, and having you there from. You're working out when Gen 1 Nautilus starts coming out, the pioneers of and up to now, if you had to say definitively one brand that made the best equipment of all time.
Hammer.
Really?
Hammer Strength.
I am shocked that you would say Hammer Strength.
When they came out with those plate-loaded machines, and some Cybex.
Okay. But Hammer Strength #1.
Yeah, because nobody knew what the hell it was.
Are you talking about like all the plate-loaded ones?
Plate-loaded.
Because they haven't changed the design much.
No. Well, why change it?
Why change if it's good? Yeah.
So, and Techno Gym.
They're
right there.
Techno Gym makes great stuff.
They're right there. I could just imagine what they're making now. I don't really go to trade shows anymore.
We're actually going to be going to Ursa again this year. Tina and I.
There's one in New York. I'm going to go just so I want to see.
Oh, it's so. Oh, Kev, you would geek out much.
I told you that. What's the name of that chest machine? It's like a Smith machine.
Oh, you're talking about Panada. I'm working on getting that.
Oh,
it's just big bucks.
I know, but
it's like $8 grand or $9 grand for that one piece.
But if
It's nice. It's nice.
But you know what? Nowadays, equipment just is, well,
It's
okay,
ungodly expensive.
Okay, here we go. The multi-station,
yes,
the big yellow ones,
yes,
they were 10, 12 grand.
okay.
They got to be 25, 30,000.
They're like around like 16,000 now.
Okay.
Right, and which is
which is good for all the things that it does.
sure you can do a million things on it, but it's still like, think about it. We have how many do we have? We have 1, 2, 3,
A lot.
3. We have 3 of the big ones, and then 2 of the smaller ones.
So imagine opening a gym.
That's what
nowadays.
I'm saying.
You need like $2 million.
You really do.
To open something like this.
So we actually about a year and a half ago we decided let's sit down just for fun. Me and Chris, the sales manager, we're like let's figure out how much it would cost to recreate Signature Fitness
You ain't got enough money.
somewhere else,
You ain't got
right?
enough money.
Right, just next door here, right? What we just did. That's 500,000.
I would love to do that.
That's 500 grand right there.
I would love to do that, but you need.
We said roughly 8 to 10 million for the size of the facility, for 55,000 square feet,
Renovations.
for the sauna, the steam rooms,
renovations alone,
like eight to $10 million. Isn't that crazy? And the craziest part was out of that 8 to 10 million, almost 4 million of it was the equipment.
and the renovations are even worse.
It's crazy. You know,
Bathrooms, putting plumbing.
this whole place is tiled.
Well, I see the size of the sauna they made. They made it like
Oh,
five times the
you looked
size.
inside of it? Oh, it's beautiful, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
I'm not a sauna guy, just because I
you're-
don't.
Yeah,
I don't want to. I don't want to. But for a lot of reasons.
It's crazy though, right? To be able to recreate something like this, or just open up a gym, like you said. In general, there's some new gyms, and I don't mind calling them out. Because you know what? Fuck it. Signature Fitness is the better gym. There's a new gym. There's a new gym in, believe it's PA. It's called Fusion Gyms. It looks.
Is it a chain or just?
No. It's a one-off, I believe. They might be making another one, but it is massive, right? We're talking in the main room. It's 36 squat racks. Yeah, like 20 combo rack benches. Like we're talking like not just one pendulum, 2 pendulums.
Is there that many people that would go there to fill that? That's a lot of equipment.
But here's the thing. This is what they do. And this is what I don't agree with. Half of the pieces are recreations made in China.
Cheap.
You get each of those pieces for $1,000.
Cheap steel.
And then you wonder why it's going to break.
Well, I could tell you.
Like, because they have all the hammer strength pieces. It doesn't say hammer strength, right?
Knockoffs. Anything made in China, knockoff is garbage.
Because the grade of the steel and the
shoes,
and the
jackets,
everything, the grade of the steel, the welding that they do.
Well, they use cheap steel in a bench.
Cheap steel, and they don't weld it all the way.
And I'll give you a perfect example. If you remember my gym, you remember my dumbbells, the professional dumbbells, right? Not the ones here. These are. You
had the pro style with the plates,
with the plates and the bolts. Well, that steel is made in China. So when you got monsters coming in using 120, 130 and dropping them on end, they would just blow apart.
Bust open, yeah.
Right? And I have to fix them all the time.
Yeah.
The bolts would strip. It was just cheap steel. So, yeah, I know what you mean.
Those are beautiful dumbbells, by the way. I looked into getting a new set.
Old school, best school.
You can still get the same quality from Avanco.
Yes.
But they are, whoa. I mean, we're talking, if you just want a single set from 5 to 100 in 5 pound increments,
thousands of dollars.
You're looking at like $15,000 for one set from 5 pound increments.
Why is that? Why?
You know what? I will say, I think
their quality. Yeah.
One, the quality is second to none. But I think it's a little bit of the marketing. It's the whole thing put together. It is, but I'll tell you what, there ain't no better feel. You remember those knurled handles? There ain't no better feeling.
They just grabbed your hands.
Because I don't like how fat they are now. They're a little too thick. When you get to the heavier weights, I'll say.
Well, yeah.
With the lighter weights is nice, but when I try to grab 100, the knurling isn't aggressive enough, so I got to put chalk or a strap or something.
I wouldn't know.
With with the old school ones, you can grab those and it would like rip into your hand in the best way. You know?
Yeah. No, I know. Well, again,
it's a different old school versus new school. It's a different world.
And you know, before we end or whenever we end this, I want to throw out what we talked about, like Corey Everson.
Okay. Yeah.
I want everybody that watches this, they're not going to know who she is.
Okay.
I want all the bikini girls, all the physique girls, just go look at Corey Everson from back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
She was she was beautiful and she was great.
Well, and that's something that
And that is like,
we can touch on
and
that.
Bob Harris.
Oh, that's we talking
Okay.
about Bob Harris. We can talk about that because you know
And Samir Banu, and of course Lee Labrada.
I'm really glad you brought those two up.
To be a Lee Labrada.
Well, Lee Labrada,
was
Samir,
180
they were two. Like Samir won the Olympia once, right?
Yes, he did.
He was someone who was a similar style of physique from Lee Labrada, and it was just beauty. It was you could literally use the word beautiful with these guys.
Picture perfect.
Yeah.
And Bob Harris, he had one of the best physiques ever, even to this day. I think who's the guy that real good right now? Sebum?
Oh, Chris Bumstead, yes.
The guy's awesome.
Yeah.
Genetic freak.
Genetic freak.
Like they don't make bodies.
They don't make
like
bodies like that much.
One
Exactly.
out of every 10 million.
Well, and that's the point is, I mean, I agree with, but it's hard to tell someone to not be ripped to the bone. You know what I mean? Because the thing is like, you need to have a stopping point because in the sense of, well, that guy's as shredded as it can possibly be. Let's just say they said, we're not looking for as much condition anymore. So what does it go back to? Well, really what it goes back to is symmetry, size, shape, presentation. Are you posing well? Those are the things that I think bodybuilding should be.
Exactly.
Because what did it evolve into? Dorian comes in and now it's who is the biggest, freakiest, and most ripped.
That's what it was.
You know? And
But
it's still like that. And that's why this classic division, it's bringing that back a little bit. They're still ripped to the bone. But
I like it.
Me too.
I like it. I mean, I love the Nick Walkers.
Oh, me. Oh, you. I mean, yeah, because it's a freak. It's awesome.
Like, dude, how do you get that big?
Did you? Were you?
How do you put that
You were a
muscle
member.
on?
You were a member here. Did you ever see? Because he was a member here for a little while. I don't know if you ever.
Who?
Nick Walker.
He was?
Yeah, I think you know what it is because you come in the morning. He was coming in the afternoons.
Oh, shit.
For like a year and a half, he was coming.
Really?
This was about a year and a half to 2 years ago.
So he was big then.
Oh, I have never seen. So like, there's a reason why they call him the mutant. Obviously,
Yeah.
his
He's my
body.
size at 280.
His body
can't
is
even-
freaky.
Like, how does he even tie his shoes?
It's just
one
like
time I couldn't tie my shoes.
It's like bubbly muscle everywhere. It doesn't make sense.
I see him and I'm like, is that real?
Yeah. Oh, trust me. We were just hanging out with him at the Olympia at the dinner afterwards, and he comes walking in this suit, and I was like, that must be made out of spandex. I don't know how it is getting around.
How about that guy Andrew Jack?
Oh my god,
Dude, he's as big as that curtain.
So, all right. Hold on. Let me close one thing first. In my opinion, I think you agree that bodybuilding should focus a little bit more on the beauty than it should the freakiness, right?
Yeah.
Right? I agree. So for anyone at home, don't be too freakish, all right?
Yeah. Well,
lay off a little bit of the drugs, okay?
Yeah. Back off.
Let's back off a little bit and we'll be okay.
Back off, yeah.
But you mentioned Andrew Jack. So this is why it's very interesting. Andrew Jack, Samson Dwada,
Another.
those two guys, I think if it all goes well, will change bodybuilding forever because they are bringing the size, the shape, the symmetry, and the conditioning, but they have that classic silhouette of like. So when I looked at both of them on stage at the Olympia, Samson reminded me of an up and coming Ronnie, and Andrew Jack reminded me of an up and coming Flex Wheeler.
Well, Flex, that's a whole. He's another.
But when I'm telling you, when you look at their structures, they're literally like Samson he's got that same little bit of a gap in his abs, but he's got the big roundness in his shoulders and all this bubbliness, and the waist is here, and the lats are just starting to hang.
He was just born that way.
Yeah, and then Andrew Jack. Andrew Jack's got remember how Flex had those kind of pointy elbows? Andrew Jack's the same way, and he's got the shape
twice as big.
Kevin, he's huge. I was looking at him from 50 feet away, and he was wearing a crew neck and sweats.
Yeah, you see him on videos.
And I was like, my God, how do they make human beings like this? Because I've met NFL players that are, 6'6",
big humans.
but they're, but to see someone who's 6'2"-ish, something like that, he's my height or slightly higher.
He's big.
And to have a silhouette like that, wow.
Yeah, well, again, that's what you were born with. God,
you were born with that, and I think
you can't make that.
No,
you can train every day.
You can train all you want. Yeah. You'll never just like they said, like Flex Wheeler. There'll only be one Flex Wheeler.
That's right.
Ronnie Coleman, there'll only be one Ronnie Coleman.
And I'm going to say it one more time, and I want people to go back to the early 80s. Corey Everson, her sister Cameo, she had a sister Cameo, and Bob Harris. Bob Harris, he never, I think he like maybe won like a few little.
Yeah.
Like
he never won Mr. Olympia or any of that type of stuff.
But he was on because he was pretty.
He was pretty. And that's why everyone loves Chris Bumstead. He's got the look.
Yeah, of course. Like Hercules.
And let me and this is
like a Hercules.
This is not a knock on any of these guys, but like we brought up Nick, right? Who is it? Arnold says it all the time. I was at the beach and I want to look like Steve Reeves.
Yeah.
No one says I'm at the beach and I want to look like Nick Walker.
No.
I'm sorry. I would love to live in the body for a day and that's it. Just to experience it. But I don't want to look like that.
No.
No,
not me neither.
I want to be able to wipe my butt.
I remember back in the day, I couldn't get jeans to fit me. My legs were too big. I had about like 36-inch waist jeans.
And then you just cinch it, right?
Yeah, but you look like an idiot.
Same. Right now, sloppy. My waist is a 40, right? I have to buy a 46.
Yeah.
Because my quads won't fit.
Yeah, right. And it's sloppy.
Oh, it's a horrible look.
It's a horrible look.
But
unless you want to go have a custom made.
No, I'm not going to do that.
But I had jeans but now they make those spandex.
Oh, yeah.
Like
I have a couple of them, but it's better.
But a lot. Well, yeah. Obviously, my legs ain't that. No. Well, that's the first thing that goes when you get older.
Yeah, I know.
Your legs, they're gone. Like I look at my legs, like, oh, where'd they go?
But do you still train them?
I still train them.
You do?
Yeah. Of course. I try to think. I think I could get them bigger, but you really can't.
Yeah, that's okay.
Sorry, it is what it is.
So the last thing before we wrap up, because we've gone through most of all of our topics, right? But I would like to know a little bit about what was the diet like back in the day. Like if you were, let's just say, let's make a scenario. You are 6 weeks out from your next show. What are you eating?
I'm still eating chicken, sweet potato, salad, oatmeal.
Okay.
I had a very fast metabolism.
So was carbs incorporated a lot?
I'm a carb freak.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't get fat. I needed carbs to hold my muscle.
Okay.
If I didn't eat carbs, I would disappear.
Really?
Yeah, I'd have carbs.
Oh.
A lot of chicken. No, obviously tuna. Tuna was big back in the day.
Okay.
The gym would smell. They'd be eating cans of tuna. I'm like, oh man, I just can't deal with that smell. And you're talking to your buddy, smells like tuna.
Oh my God! Stop it.
Tuna was big.
That's the worst thing in the world.
No meal preps like you have here. Like we now,
you always had to bring your own food.
Yeah, you brought your own food in your own container.
Were people eating? Because I know, like me personally, I feel the best when I'm eating ground beef or bison and rice.
I had to have beef at least twice a week.
Okay, I was curious. I eat it personally. I eat beef every single day.
I got to eat like filet mignon because of what happened to me.
Okay,
I can't really eat ground beef.
Sure,
it won't go down.
Gotcha.
Unless I saturate it with like stewed tomatoes or something.
Something to make it slide down.
Yeah. I can't do that right now, but because I have no saliva glands.
Sure.
And no taste buds, so that's kind of good sometimes. But a lot of chicken, of course.
So lots of chicken, tuna.
If I wanted to get into shape quick, fish.
Like tilapia?
No. Never.
Flounder, what?
Cod.
Really?
Cod or haddock, white, thick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's like I would eat that if I could eat that. Like if I really wanted to get ready, it was the cod. But I had to be careful too because you eat a lot of fish,
mercury and all that stuff.
20 minutes later, you're hungry.
Oh, because it's nothing.
Nothing.
It goes right straight through you. So it really it's interesting because if you think back to then and you look at now, I don't see much difference in the food.
Nope.
It's simple. Chicken,
really
fish, beef, vegetables.
Bodybuilding, they make it complicated.
Yeah.
Nowadays. Oh, my coach.
My timing.
I just want to say one thing before we end this. This really bothers me.
Okay.
Everybody got a coach.
Oh.
I'm like, bro, where's your coach? He's in Florida. I'm like, well, how's your coach? When's he coming to check you out? Like, when's he going to come see you? Oh, he don't. I sent my picture to Florida. I'm like, what? You're paying this guy, your coach is in Florida, and you're paying this guy $250 a month, and he's giving you a generic diet. You ever see the diet they give? Bro, they blast out a chicken and asparagus diet.
But this is the issue. And I don't like to talk about it too much, but why? What's the reason?
Money.
No.
What?
Because they supplement all diet and training with drugs.
Okay.
That's what it is.
Okay.
They want, and what they're paying for is this drug protocol, but when really what they need is to do this, train, eat, and sleep.
Dude, you can learn everything on YouTube. And you're paying this guy I'm like, what? And he's in Florida, and you send him a picture once a week, and he tells you, oh,
let's change this, let's change that.
Yeah, seriously?
He can get all that from a photo, huh?
Yeah.
Once a week.
Yeah, once a week.
Like, for example,
I'm like, bro, I gotta.
You gotta touch, you gotta feel.
Okay, listen. Okay, let me take your shit off.
Yeah.
Let's go in the posing room. I gotta see what you got.
Yeah.
I think half these guys are maybe perverts. Like they just want to see these girls.
I don't know.
I don't really know what's going on.
It's like, for example, I know Sean, like his coach lives in Florida, right? He is on the phone with him every day. He sends him photos in the morning and the afternoon. They meet up multiple times during the year. They've been working together for 7 years. He knows his body like clockwork.
Yeah.
But these other, the scary thing is,
never even met the coach.
The scary thing is they've never met the coach, and everyone's a coach now. Everyone's a bodybuilding coach now. They did one show, and now they're going to prep other people.
Dude, they never even did a show.
Or that.
Show me a picture of this guy.
Yeah, or that. Or they've never done a show. Oh, but they're ripped, and I can listen to them.
Oh, he wants me to go on Primo, and he wants me to do a little of this and a little of that. I'm like, yeah? Well, you want to sell it to you too?
Yeah.
What's the price?
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
I'm like, dude, listen.
Whatever happened to discovering it for yourself, too? That's another thing.
Bodybuilding's not hard to do.
It's just start training, start eating, and discover it yourself. Listen, nobody's going to know your body better than you.
Exactly. Like nobody could tell me what I need to do at this stage of the game. I learned my body when I had cancer, I told the doctor what I needed. And I'm going to say this too, and you'll understand. Going through the nutrition part of bodybuilding, I knew what I needed when I had cancer. Mm-hmm. I knew how to eat it. I liquefied my food. Like they want me to drink an Ensure and that Boost shit. You can't live on that.
There's no nutritional value in that.
You might as well just don't even eat. I didn't eat for 30 to 35 days.
Really?
Yeah, if chemo radiation was bad.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what, you start blending up your food?
I went from 190 pounds to the last time I looked at the scale was 138 pounds.
Wow.
Dude, there was nothing left. But I knew I had to eat, but I couldn't. You
know what's crazy is I remember we talked about this the first time we started really chit-chatting is I remember you used to have that bike and you'd be riding around whatever. But I remember when you came back to the gym and I said, what happened to that guy?
People thought I was going to die.
Yeah. Because you got so skinny. But you were still ripped.
I was ripped. I had nothing left.
But you were so skinny.
Yeah, I was 138 pounds.
Which is nothing.
And it's been 2.5 years. I'm back up to like 170 something.
No, you look fantastic.
I feel better.
Good.
But I have good days, bad days. But
no, sure.
But anyway, okay. But so back to the nutrition part.
Oh, nutrition. Okay.
I would take my food, chicken, Popeyes. You know what they are, right?
Yeah.
I would put them in a blender
and just to get it down
and liquefy it and drink it because that's real nutrition.
Yeah.
Not that Ensure and that Boost garbage.
Yeah.
So I would do that with a lot of my food. I would liquefy it. Yeah, and I would drink it.
Well,
it's a lot easier to drink than to chew and swallow.
No, of course. And I tell everybody, well, especially with your type of cancer too.
But anybody, you could do that. Anybody could do that. I mean, if you don't feel like eating that day, you need
just chug it down.
Just chug it down. You need to eat.
Do you know how many people? How many people? Not just in bodybuilding. Brian Shaw said he used to do tuna with water.
I did.
And orange juice because the orange juice would.
Him too?
Yeah, the orange juice would cut the tuna flavor, and you could just kind of chug it down.
My mother would look at me like
disgusting.
My mother, but
it worked.
But it taught me how to grow. Listen, you'll agree with this. Your taste buds want hamburgers, pizza, but your body don't.
No,
you can't grow on that shit.
No.
So we go for the food that tastes good.
Yeah.
But your body's like, no.
No, I need real food.
I want chicken. I want potatoes. I want sweet potatoes. But I don't feel like eating that. I want a slice of pizza instead. But your body's not going to grow.
No, your body doesn't want that.
No.
He did that.
Actually, it's poison to your body.
Oh, yeah. So,
there's a steak, ground beef,
all that
rice.
Bison, I feel so good when I eat that stuff.
Dude, you eat that. If you could eat that on a constantly,
yeah.
You will grow. You will grow and you will get quality muscle.
Yeah.
But not a lot of people want to do that.
I know. Well, and on top of that, it also costs so much money nowadays too.
Well, everything. I mean,
It's crazy.
How about the other anabolics?
Yeah, people.
Oh, that's a whole nother. That's a whole nother.
That's a whole other podcast.
We can get into that one. That one blows my mind too.
It would be crazy. But Kevin, thank you so much for coming on today, brother. I appreciate it so much. This was a blast from the past, guys. What it's all about is not just living in today's society, but maybe we need to take a little chapter out of the old school book.
Some people come up to me and they know I've been around a long time and they ask me questions. You could ask me any question you want. I'll answer it honestly.
Yeah.
From,
no matter what. Yeah.
From the drugs to, I'll tell you straight out, I have nothing to hide no more, nor do I care. Right? I'll tell you, bro, this is what I took. Yeah, it's all good.
We appreciate that, Kev. Yeah. Guys, that's another episode of the SignatureCAST where we talk bodybuilding, business, and everything in between. We will see you soon. Have a good one.